Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. It's Storytime with Jasia. That's so Jasia, this is Storytime with me. Would I get copyright for that? So today I'm going to do my crash story, which is the story about my crash. Wow, words. 9 years ago today, well, the 2nd of April, I crashed my car. I'm just going to do a video about my crash and the aftermath and stuff. People wanted me to do a chatty video, so here we go. On the 29th of March 2010, it was Monday, I passed my test. First time, buzzing, was loving life, had 4 glorious days of driving, well, 3, Monday, well, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then on the 2nd of April 2010, so 5 days after my test, I crashed. So here goes the story. Settle down, get yourself a drink. We will begin. What am I doing? I feel like I'm meditating. So on the 2nd of April, me and my friend decided that we were going to take our cousins to like a local farm. It was like 40 minutes away. I'd never been before, so I had no idea where I was going. I didn't have a sat nav, so I was following my friend in the car there. I was having a great time, like listening to music and stuff. And we arrived there and, well, we got really lost most of the way there, but yeah, we eventually arrived there and had a great time. Like, we were having a good time. We took the kids on rides and I took a packed lunch and stuff, but my little cousin was like, oh, I don't want to eat that. I ended up with no lunch because she ate my lunch and I was starving. So on the way back I was like, oh, we'll go to McDonald's, get you a Happy Meal or something and I'll eat all the food because I was starving. Well, we didn't make it to McDonald's. I don't know why I'm laughing again. Why am I laughing? It's not even funny. Do you know, it's quite hard to do this video because I shouldn't really laugh, but I try and make light heart of what happened. It's quite dramatic, but I try and make it seem like not a big deal, which is what I do in all my life, really. So we were going to McDonald's, which we didn't know where a McDonald's was because we didn't even know where we were. And we was driving back, and the like roads were really windy, and they were like country roads. So I don't know, I suppose you're meant to go 50 down them, but I was like literally juddering along at like 20 miles an hour or something because I'd never driven there before. And so like I was driving down, and I drive with one hand because it's like a steering ball. It looks like a doorknob on a wheel basically, and you just like stir. Well, yeah, it's like stirring the pot. Yeah, you steer with one hand and then this hand will do like the accelerator and brake. So I was driving down the windy roads like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, it's so hard, following my friend, and my friend kept putting like a hand out the window like, come on, keep up, you know. Obviously we're in different cars, so I didn't know what she was saying, but that's what I assumed. So I was like, oh, I don't go any faster, I don't feel comfortable. So like I just went at the speed that I felt alright at a safe speed for me. Like, I don't know what about the other people behind me. They were probably thinking, God, put your foot down. Little did they know my foot wasn't down because I drive with my hands. So yeah, we were going down these like windy roads, and all of a sudden it was like a really sharp one that like backed on itself, and I like overspun the wheel that much and I ended up in like a, you know, like at the side of the roads where there's like a verge and then it's like water. I don't know if they're called like dams or like, I don't know, but it's like, so basically I just was like, explosion. It didn't explode. So basically my car just like went like along and then went like that into this like, I don't know what it is, like a banking thing, but it was like full of water, and it was like it went like a river, but it was deeper than a stream, but not as big as a river. Not really explaining it very well. Maybe I could insert a photo of what it looks like. So I like landed in that. On impact, I like came out my chair and went into the dashboard. My cousin's in the back like screaming her head off. The cousin at the side of me was just like literally not moving, not breathing. I thought I'd killed her. I was like, oh my god, I've killed her. What, like literally panicking then. And I sort of went into like crazy mode, like what the hell do I do? But because I'd fallen out of my wheelchair, my feet had fallen onto the pedals, because in my car there was pedals that you could, like if someone else was going to drive it, they could, because they were normal pedals. So my car was then wheel spinning everywhere, but it couldn't go anywhere because I was like wedged. So my friend like jumped into the water and was like, turn your car off, turn your car off. So I like turned the car off and then pressed like an emergency button, which is meant to like ring emergency services and breakdown and whatever. So it was like, I was pressing that like loads, thinking like someone's got to come and help, but it didn't like do anything, so I thought it didn't work. Little did I know, like helicopter came, 2 fire engines. Was there 1 ambulance or 2 ambulances? I think there was 1 ambulance and then like 3 police cars. So it did work, but I just didn't know it had. And then like my cousin's still screaming in the back like, help me, oh my god, I can't believe it. Like, well, she was like 10, so she probably weren't saying that, she was just screaming. They managed to get the cousin in the front out through her door, but they couldn't get my other cousin out. It's so hard not to say her name. They couldn't get my other cousin out because the door was welded, so you could only go through the other side at the back, which would then mean like the water would come in, so you couldn't like go through that, because the way I landed my car was like at a tilt, so it was like, do you know what I mean? I was, say this is me sat in the car, I was like that, and all I could see like at the side of me through the window was just water. So we couldn't open that door, otherwise it'd flood the car and then it might tip the car. They managed to pull her out through the front and then through the front door, but I'm just stuck in the car. But when they started to take them out, the car started to like tilt a little bit more, so it was like, oh my god, am I going to die? And then like a man came and helped. I remember a man being there and gave us blankets and stuff, and they put my cousins in my friend's car so they weren't like cold. Obviously it was April time, so it wasn't like mega warm, it was quite cold actually. And then it started chucking it down, which, you know, just to add to the stress a bit more. And when the paramedics came, well, it was an ambulance, paramedics, I had to have like a morphine drip through the window because we couldn't open my car door because of the water and stuff. So I was like having my morphine, like, oh god. And then when the fire brigade came, they were trying to figure out how to get me out of the car at best, because I drove from wheelchair. So I've always had a disability, but up until the crash, I could still like, not like walk loads, but I could still get in and out my wheelchair and like walk here and there, like, you know, a few steps or whatever. I could walk further if I was holding on to something or someone, like independently be able to walk a few steps, and then I could like stand up and everything. So I still drove from wheelchair because it was easier than me to try and get a wheelchair in the car. The fire brigade were trying to figure out the best way to get me out of the car because of the ramp at the back. So my car's got like a ramp that drops up and down. So the boot like flips open, then the ramp drops down, and then I get out, and then it closes up. But because of the way I'd landed the car, you couldn't drop the back. What they did was they cut me out by cutting the boot off, and then they put like a big like stretcher sort of thing inside the car, took the back of my wheelchair off, which come off anyway, so that wasn't like cut off or anything, and like they dragged me up this ramp all the way up the banking into the ambulance. And as I'm going up, I'm thinking there's a reason why my mama, so my mama used to say to us when we were younger, always make sure you're wearing matching underwear, you never know if you're going to get hit by a bus. And I used to think, what is she talking about? Like, why would it matter if I've been hit by a bus if my bra and pants match? This exact reason why. Because I'm being dragged up this ramp and my trousers are slowly falling down each pull they do. And I had to ask the ambulance man, I was like, please can you just pull my trousers back up a little bit? I felt so embarrassed, like, and as I was going up the ramp, every time they tugged me, I was like, I kept saying, my knee's broken, I've broken my knee. And they were like, no, no, you haven't, you're all right, you've just bashed it. And I was like, no, something don't feel right. So like every tug I felt this excruciating pain like shoot up my leg. And I was like convinced something had gone wrong. Because you know your own body, don't you? So when they finally got me in the ambulance and everything, they put some, I think they gave me more morphine and they gave me gas and air, but I didn't even know how to use gas and air because I'd never been in a situation to use it. And I was like, kept breathing it in like, but I didn't know what to do with it once it was in, so I was just keeping it in my lungs, like, how long do I keep it here for? The ambulance driver was just like pretend you're drinking something, so I had to keep going like, which was just stupid, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I just wanted drugs, and I wanted to go home. I was in the ambulance, and my little cousin had got, so she came, like my youngest cousin, came in the ambulance with me with one of them silver things round her, you know, like on like Hobby City or something, and I like got the silver things and like, oh. So she got that round her, and every time I looked over to her and she's like sobbing a little heart out, and it just broke my heart. Like I felt so bad. I thought I could have killed him. Like we all could have died in that crash. It was horrendous to think about. Like, I don't know, I don't really like talking about it on a daily, but every time it comes up to like the anniversary, I feel like I have to talk about it to remind myself what I've been through. And you know, I survived it. So obviously April Fool's Day is on the 1st of April, so the 2nd of April my friend's like ringing my mum like, just to let you know, Jasia has been in a car crash. So my mum's like thinking it was some sort of prank, but a bit late. But my mum said that she had like a really funny feeling all day that something was going to happen. Because she'd said to me that morning, like, why are you going that far? Why don't you just go like to the park or something? Why has it got to be far? And I'm like, it's fine, Mum, I can drive now. Yeah, I wish I hadn't. I'm trying to think of other things that make us laugh about it so it's not too gloomy. Oh, so the irony is, in the car, do you know that song like, if you want to come take a ride with me? That was on. Is it Nelly? I don't know. Anyway, that song was on as we crashed. So now the saying is, if you want to come and take a ride with me, just don't. Don't. Yes, so we joke about the song that was on. And when my mum arrived at the hospital and everything, the policeman spoke to us. He was saying that basically if I had landed my car further along in the banking, there was like concrete wall further along. So if I'd have smashed into that, I'd have died, like I'd have just died. And he also said that if I'd gone any faster, so on impact, I think they were saying that I crashed on like between 13 to 19 mile per hour on impact, because they can't get an exact, but so that's not really fast at all. But if I was going any faster, I'd have gone through the window screen, because basically what had happened was my car's adapted, so the seatbelt, it'll go like across as normal and click in, but the bottom bit, so you know how a seatbelt goes, it goes like that, doesn't it? So the bottom bit used to loop into the door, so there was like a thing that you could hook it onto, so when I come into the car it was already done. So I'd just like drive straight into it, and on impact it basically, because it was just attached, well at the time I didn't know until I crashed, it was just attached to the sleeve of the door, so you know like the plastic bit of the door, like the coating, so you don't see the metal, it was just attached to that, which you can pull them off with your hands, like you can literally pull them off. So on impact it just came out and I just went flying, which is why I did break my knee. So I wasn't exaggerating, I had broken my knee, my left knee. What happened was my knees just went straight into the dashboard, and the policeman was saying if I was going any faster I'd have gone over and through the window screen. So lucky unlucky, isn't it? So it could have been like a lot worse, and it was very scary. And then he also said that even though I wasn't a parent, I had like a maternal instinct. So anyone that knows me knows like family is up there, like literally I would do anything for my family. And I had like, he was saying I had a maternal instinct. So on impact, when I was like trying to drive the car, on like the way that I'd done it was naturally you would normally steer yourself away from danger, whereas I'd done the opposite. So I'd like basically put myself in a worse position than the girls. So the way that it had landed was like I was in a worse place, so they were safe. Does that make sense? It's something to do with like maternal instinct, which I didn't think I was maternal at all. So you lucky girls, I made sure you were safe. No, it was horrendous. It was awful. Like, when I think about it, I think because I don't really go into depth about it, I just say, oh yeah, I crashed my car, yeah, like, unlucky. When I look back, it was actually horrifying. It could have been a lot worse, but when I think about it, I'm like, it was worse. It was bad because my life ended the minute that I crashed that car. I don't mean as in like life, as in I'm still alive and I'm lucky to be alive, but my independence and everything that I knew had stopped then. Because of my condition, when I went into the hospital, they wouldn't do anything with the broken knee. So they didn't operate, they didn't cast it, they just strapped it up in like a material thing with Velcro. So I was in hospital for like a week, maybe a little bit longer, a week, 10 days, something like that. And that was because they were trying to figure out how I would be cared for at home, because now I couldn't weight bear. And I didn't have like hoists or anything, so hoists, I can't really show you, but it's a thing that is on the ceiling and it comes down like a grabber, like a big grabber machine, like, do you know what I mean, like the claw. And I didn't have any of that equipment because I didn't need it before the crash, so they were trying to decide what I needed and what help I needed and how we were going to do it. And my mum and dad worked full time, so it wasn't like there was someone at home to look after me. Luckily, it was the beginning of Easter holidays, so I was off college anyway, but not that that mattered. I'd have been off college either way because I couldn't get in. I'd got no car. And I suppose I'd gone from being able to do whatever I wanted, like, and I don't mean like whatever I wanted, but I didn't need help. I didn't need like dressing, undressing, going to the toilet, being like showered, being like, literally the whole of my life now is done with someone else. Like, it's really hard to come to grips with the fact that I now need someone with me all the time, whereas I'd gone from being really independent, actually, going out like all weekend. I mean, I did have a good group of friends that would help me if I needed it, like, because when I got a bit drunk, I'd be a bit off my legs because the muscles would be weakened from the alcohol. Still didn't stop me drinking that. So I did have good friends that would help me, like get me in, like help me pull me out of my chair sort of thing and stand me up. But I'd gone from like none of that, and I was like 18. Yeah, I was 18, and my life, like my whole social life had just stopped from that minute. And it was really hard to come to grips with everything. I just remember being like, there was like weeks and weeks of me just being in bed, just sat there staring at nothing. I'd watch telly, but I wasn't really watching it. It was like I was numb, completely numb. I think now I was depressed, but at the time I didn't really know what it was, because I just assumed everything was to do with the crash. I was being looked after physically, but mentally not at all. I found it really hard. I felt like no one wanted to be around me because I now needed help in a way that I'd not needed before. So, like, going back to college, that was really hard because I couldn't even, my leg was just out on this like a wooden board for my knee to be like elevated, and I couldn't even like get through doorways and stuff because it was just that wide. So I could only go to college for like half a day because if I needed the toilet I'd have to come home because there was no hoist at college. So literally I'd do half a day at college, and I'd lost me. I didn't know who Jasia were anymore. Like, it was really years of battling to become confident again and find my own skin again. I just didn't know who I were anymore. And it couldn't have come at a worse time, to be fair, because I was going to university in September, so I had all my college to finish. So this is April, and I think we finished college at like May, June time, so I only had like 2 months left at college, and I missed most of that. I think I went in for like the last 3 weeks or something of college because I was, well, housebound, bedbound, so it was really hard. But I did do it. I was determined to finish college and go to uni, and it was like the day before going to uni that I finally got like accepted for care and help, because I was going to uni away from my parents. I needed help then, so I had 24-hour care at uni then, and I did it. I did do it, but it was hard, really hard. And I think that's really why I wanted to do the video, to be honest, was because I wanted to like talk about, everyone has like hardships, everyone's got something going on, and not everyone around them knows that something's going on. And a lot of the time, unless it's like physically seen, you don't know someone's going through it. And it's more of like the aftermath of what you do after that. And I think because I'd then focused on something, so I was, I'd had this crash, and it was horrible. I had something to focus on. I don't know why I keep moving my hands, you can't see. I was focused on going to university. I wanted to get my degree, mainly to prove people wrong that I could keep going, and probably to prove something to myself that I was strong enough to keep going. And the whole time at uni, I was literally going to, God, how many hospitals did I go to? It was about 5 different opinions. So I was still fighting the hope that I would be able to stand up again. And I mean, it took a long time to get to that moment where it was like, give up now. When I came out of the hospital, for 10 weeks, every Wednesday I'd have to go back to the hospital for them to x-ray, see how it's going, if it's like knitting together, and if it's strong enough to stand on again. So I kept going, and then I remember this one particular time, they were like, do you want to try and stand up? So I tried to stand up like how I would normally, and my knee just like went like that, like it just broke again. So whatever like had knitted back together, it completely broke. It re-broke like several times, so it was like, now it just won't heal, which is painful, but you learn to live with it. And I decided that I needed to go and get another opinion, because this man was just fobbing me off every week, like, no, we'll try this, we'll try that, and it was just getting too much. So I went to someone else, and he'd said, you need to give up all hope. And I thought, who is this prick? Like, give up all hope? I don't, nah, we don't give up, we don't give up. And then I went to another man, and it was pretty much the same, like, oh, we don't know what to do. And then I went to someone in Sheffield, and he was really good. Like, he got this like splint made. It got like a locking system so that it could support my knee when it stood up. But because the knee had completely gone, like, it just kept collapsing. It wasn't working. And I just remember being at uni. I think I was in my 2nd year. I thought, I feel like I'm holding on to something that was, rather than something can be. And it wasn't hope that I gave up. It was that I was never gonna be the way I was. And it was so hard to accept that I would not stand again. And it's still hard now, sometimes, but you sort of get that caught up in the everyday that you try not to think about it. From then on in, I was going to learn to live a new life. Like, almost like embrace what I had. And from then on, I suppose I just learnt how to live with it. There was only a few times recently, not recently, but when I finished uni, I was not prepared at all for life at home again. I'd had this like 3 years of freedom, I suppose, living alone, well, with carers and people, but not at my parents' house. I came home and I was literally like back at my parents' in my bedroom where I had like nothing. And I had to get used to having calls, which was a carer would come like 3 times a day, so there'd be no one with me the majority of the time. They'd just sort of get you up, take your toilet, put you back to bed, get you up, get your dinner, put you back to bed. And I'd just gone from being like on top of the world again to back to square one again. So it was quite hard then, and I just remember going back to like sitting on my bed all day, staring at nothing. And it was depression again. That's when I just decided that I needed to figure out how to get a job, because I'd not done that before, because I'd gone from college to uni. That's when I started volunteering, and then I got a job, and now I'm working and living on my own in my own house away from my mum and dad, which isn't like because I don't want to live with them because I don't like them. It's because I want my own independence at 27 years old. And other than the last, like every now and then, I had a bit of a panic attack the other night actually, because if I have people come over, so I had the OT, which is occupational therapist. She came over to like talk about slings and stuff, which is like a material thing to be able to hoist up. And she'd come and it was like talking about, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that and use this? And it was like a bit too much, and I just panicked in the night because I was overthinking about it. That I was like, shit, I can't walk anymore. And it was like a proper panic that I was like, I'd sort of forgot, because you get that used to a routine of someone gets me up, someone does this, someone does that, like I have help all the time, that I sort of forgot, hang on a minute, I can't walk. It sounds stupid really, because it's like obvious I can't walk, but I just had like a minute where I was like, oh my god, what is life? There's so much I could go into, to be fair, but I feel like I'm rambling about everything, and I don't know, I didn't want this video to be like, oh, doom and gloom, feel sorry for Jasia. Like, I just wanted to do like a chatty, I suppose get to know me in a way as well, because I want to do more videos and I don't want people to be like, oh, what is up with her? Like, why has she got, like, something wrong with her? Well, there is, but, you know, I just thought it would be nice to not even celebrate, like, just do a video about my crash on the anniversary of the crash 9 years ago. And I don't know, I didn't want it to be sad, so I hope it's not too sad, and I hope it's not too boring, and I just hope you enjoyed it, I suppose, and learnt a bit something new. I don't know. If you knew how many times I've actually done this video today, then you'd understand why I look so tired now. I think I'm going to wrap this up now. Wrap it up. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, make sure that you subscribe. And if you want to get a notification of when I've uploaded a video, which hopefully is soon again, hit the bell button. I don't know, it looks like a bell. That gives you a little notification to say I've uploaded a video, yay, come watch me. Make sure that you leave a comment as well of anything, you know, if you've gone through something similar or you want to know more, I don't know. Just talk to me in the comments, that's nice. Or you could head over to my Instagram, which I'll leave below as well. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all again soon. Bye! And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye now. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.